Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the custom notifications module. The custom notifications module allows you to add notification messages to your storefront pages. So this can be used for marketing purposes or just to let your customers know about maybe you're performing maintenance in the store and you want when they visit the store they are able to read about it. So you can use the custom notification module to add notification messages to your storefront pages. So for us to set up the custom notification module, the first thing we have to do is we navigate to the store management section here. We select settings. In the settings menu section, we select modules. So in the modules section here, go ahead and choose the store design category option. So here we go ahead and type custom notification. So you can see this is the custom notification module. So once you find the module, the next thing you do is you go ahead and click on the install button here. Okay. So now we have installed the custom notification module. So in the settings section, you see we have the general settings section. So under this section, we have various subsections. So under the general section, we go ahead and ensure that the module status is enabled. We leave all these other options as it is optional. So once we enable the module status, we go ahead and save. So now the module is active. So let's view the other subsections. The integration subsection, this is an optional setting. So this is only required if you are using a custom theme. So sometimes the custom notification module will not work. So you have to come here and define the CSS selectors for the custom theme for the notification messages to show in the storefront pages. So, but we'll not need to do that. So we'll leave all this optional. We can also add custom CSS if we want to change the design of the notification message, how it will show. Maybe we want to change the background color, the text color. So we can define the CSS code here. So note that this section is mainly for advanced users. So, but you can leave this empty. The custom variables section allows us to define custom variables that we can use in the notification message. So currently you can see the available placeholders. So adding this to the message will allow us to show the subtotal of an order. We also have the option to show the total number of products, right? Using this placeholder. So this is where we'll now define our custom variables. So if we want to do that, click on this. We add the variable name, right? And then here we'll now define the variable value. So you can see we have made an example here on how you can add your variable value. And then once you do that, you save. Okay. So what we are going to do next is we are going to create a custom notification message that will show in the storefront page. So for us to do that, after we have enabled the module status, we come here, click on the add button. So here we call this test notification. So once we enter the name, this is where we'll now define the message that the customers will be able to view when this notification is active in the storefront page. So let's say we type in the message, we say this is a test notification message. So you can type in any content you want to show in the storefront by entering it here. So you see that we have the option to also use placeholders within our message. So these placeholders will work based on certain actions in the store. So let's say the customer has added some products to the shopping cart. We can display the subtotal of the order by using this subtotal button. If we want it to show in the message, we can copy this and then we place it within the message like this. So when this notification message shows in the storefront, this will change to show the total of that is the subtotal of the customer's order, right? So, but we are not going to use this placeholder, so we remove it. So you notice that here we have various sections. So we have the general section, the generic rules section, product rules, card values, notice settings, and events/action. So for the general section, this is where we can enable or disable this custom notification. So if we don't want this custom notification to be active in the storefront section, we can come here and disable it. So let's go ahead and enable it. So the generic rules section, right? This is where we define restriction rules. So if we want this notification to only show on a specific store, so if we have multiple stores, we can say we only want it to show in one store instead of showing in all the stores. So by selecting the store here. So currently we have only one store. So that's why we have just this option. We can also define this notification to only show for specific customer groups. So let's say we have different customer groups here. All right. We can choose by ticking the customer groups that we want to be able to view this notification message by selecting them here. We can also define it based on countries. So if we want this notification message to only show for users from specific countries, so let's say customers within the United States, we can come here and search for United States, right? So you see it here, and then we tick it. So once we tick it and save, all right, only customers that they have their account set to the United States will be able to view this notification message in the storefront page. All right. So, but for this example, we select it for all countries. So we have the option to also restrict this notification message based on states, currency, payment method, shipping method. All right. Then display it on specific pages. So we can define it. Let's say we only want it to show in the home page. So let's go ahead and select it. We can also define it to show on specific days of the week. This is good for marketing purposes, but we won't do that. If we have the mobile app active, we can also define it to show on specific pages of the shopping app, that's the Android and iOS shopping app, by selecting it here. So all these other options, we can also set it to show on specific time, specific dates of the month. And then we can define it to show on specific page links, right? So we go ahead and enter the page links we want it to show, and then we save. So once you have set the generic rules, we have the option to also set product rules. So this product rules section allows us to set up restrictions based on products, categories, manufacturers, product options, attributes. So once, let's say, for example, we have some specific products that we have added to cart, and we want, when those products have been um, added to the shopping cart, let the notification message show. We can use these rules to define that. Currently, the default is the message will show for all the products. So any product we add to the cart, it doesn't restrict it from allowing this message to show in the storefront page. But we can use this product rules section to restrict when this message will show based on the product we have added to the shopping cart. So once a customer adds a specific product, so if we come here and say, let's say pick product 2. So when the customer adds product 2 to the shopping cart and maybe refreshes the page or navigates to any of the pages we have defined here, the notification message will show based on the fact that this product is now in the shopping cart. So, but for this example, we are not going to restrict. So we leave it so that it will work for irrespective of any product we have in the shopping cart. The next section called cart values. This allows us to restrict when this custom notification will show based on the order total, that's the total amount of an order in the shopping cart, right? So we can come here and set up range. So if we say 10 to 200, so if the shopping cart subtotal is maybe $10, that's within $10 and $200, then this notification message will show in the storefront. But if we leave it blank, it means there will be no restriction based on cart values. So you see that we have the option to also restrict based on weight, based on product quantity that we've added to the cart. We can also do what is known as equation rules. So this is purely an advanced way of restricting based on cart value. So we can use placeholders to create equation rules. So for example, you can see in the example we have, if the subtotal is less than 100, show this message. So we can type such equation rules here and then we save. So the next section called notice settings. This is where we define how the message will show. So we have the option to show it as a pop-up, as a sticker, and then as an actual module in the page. So let's say we show it as a sticker, right? If we select the sticker option, we can show it either at the top section or at the bottom section. We can also set the marquee text if we want to add this. We can enable a close button so that customers can close the message after reading it, or we can disable it. We can also set the text alignment, the color theme, can choose custom and then define the colors if we want to put custom colors. So, but let's leave this as the default info theme. Then we have the option to include custom HTML code or JavaScript if we want to add it. All right. So once we have set up the notice settings, we have the last section called events/action. So what this section, we can use this section to define certain events. Maybe if we want the cart page to be disabled when this notification message is triggered in the storefront page, we can select this. We can also disable the confirm order button if we want that to happen based on this notification message. We can also force a page redirect. So if we want the customer to be redirected, let's say to the cart page or the checkout page or the home page, when this custom notification message shows in the storefront, we can do that using this option. We can also so we can hide other notices. So if we have other custom notifications that we have set, we can choose those notifications that we want to hide when this particular custom notification is triggered. So we can do that as well for this section. So if we want to hide based on this one showing or based on this one being hidden, we can do it using this section. So currently we don't have any other custom notification. So we can, that's why it's empty. All right. So once we have set up the various sections here, the next thing we do is we go ahead and save. All right. So after we've saved, we can proceed to check the storefront end. All right. So you see that when we open the storefront end, you've seen that the sticker custom notification message is showing in the home page. So let's go back and edit it. So if we come here, let's say we want the text alignment to show in the center, select center and save. So once I refresh this page, the text will show in the center here. So let's refresh it. All right, so you see that it has changed. So remember that when we were setting it, we defined that we only want it to show in the home page. So if I navigate to a product page, you see that the custom notification message will not show in this page. That's because we had only set it to show in the storefront home page. So going back to the home page, you see that it's now showing in the home page. So this is an example on how you can create custom notification message, all right, using the custom notification module. So you can add other notification messages. So if you want to add another one, you come here and click on the add button. You type in your name for the custom notification, enter the message, add all the restriction rules and event triggers. So once you do all that, you save. So let's go ahead and delete this. So in this video, I've shown you how to set up the custom notification message and how to assign placeholders to your custom notification message using the custom notification module. Thank you for watching.